tough few days for you, so thank you so much for stopping by. How's his mic? Good? Yeah? All right. Lex, I appreciate it as well. All right, cool. Are their mics good there, Josh? Yeah, good? Give me a little test there, Nate.
Test.
All right, there we go. Lex?
Test 1, 2,
There we
3.
go. There we go. For a second, I couldn't hear you guys. So, guys, again, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming to New York and for joining us. Obviously, like I said, it's been a very tough stretch for you, and I think because we haven't heard from you, let's work backwards, and let's ask the question that everyone wants to know right off the top. Why weren't you medically cleared to fight?
I was not medically cleared to fight because of a situation that basically I've been dealing with since August of last year. Last year, in August, I was feeling sluggish. I was feeling horrible. I was my memory had gone out the window. I was irritable, and I knew something was wrong. I felt like I was overtraining when that wasn't the case. So I went to my doctor, and he ran a bunch of tests and basically came back and said that I had low testosterone. He, he recommended for me to go on hormone replacement therapy. And so immediately I took that information and went to the UFC and basically talked with the people there that know about that handle that situation, and figured out what was the plan. And at that point I went on treatment. I was on treatment all the way through to the end of the year, to the first of this year. It was monitored and everything, and so I got the fight with Dan Miller in New Jersey. We applied for the therapeutic use exemption from New Jersey. They came back and said, we're gonna grant you we're gonna let you fight this fight, but basically we want to make sure that you need this treatment. Your doctor submitted some paperwork that seemed incomplete, so we want you to do these tests after the fight. We want you to go off treatment for 8 weeks. Then we want you to take 3 blood tests. Then we want an endocrinologist to review those blood tests and basically see if you need to be on treatment. So, I followed all the guidelines that they told me. I went off treatment for 8 weeks. I took the 3 blood tests. Once the results came back in, the endocrinologist reviewed and wrote out a letter that basically said that I had low testosterone and that I was a candidate for hormone replacement therapy, and so he recommended me to go back on treatment. At that point, I went back to my doctor, and he decided that I should go back on treatment, obviously. And at this point, I was 3 weeks out from my fight that I was supposed to have with Rick Story. 3 weeks out. And so he basically said that I needed to go on a more aggressive treatment because of the proximity to the fight, because it was so close.
Who's he?
My doctor.
Your doctor.
His primary care physician.
Okay.
He had two doctors that recommended that Nate resume or begin hormone replacement therapy. One was the endocrinologist, which he was required to go and see by the New Jersey Athletic Commission. The second doctor was his primary care physician, who had been involved in the treatment process from the onset. He was the one that initiated, and then once the endocrinologist had recommended, he supported that recommendation and initiated treatment with Nate.
Got it. Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, it's fine. So again, like 3 weeks out, I got the recommendation. My doctor decided to put me on a new treatment that was more aggressive because it was so close to my fight. He said that it wouldn't help me. It wouldn't make me feel better by the time of my fight unless he did a more aggressive treatment. And so I was on the treatment for 2 weeks, and I took a blood test, and which is normal throughout treatment. You have to take blood tests to make sure you're within normal ranges. And that test came back high. And at that point, my doctor said, "Well, you need to go off treatment, and you know, let's hope you're down to normal levels by your fight." And you know, obviously, that was, you know, I was pretty much panicked at that point.
But it's important to note, Nate, and I apologize, it's important to note that as soon as Nate was recommended to come off treatment, he did come off treatment and did not take any subsequent treatment, even to this day. And that will be important as he kind of lays out the chronology of the levels as where they were at a high point and as they've decreased up until our most recent announcement of, I believe we found out last night or this morning.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you know, we knew that I had to be within range, and you know, obviously, I should have requested testing earlier. You know, that's one of the biggest mistakes I made, was not you know, requesting blood tests earlier from my doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So when we took the blood test after 2 weeks of treatment, it was high. So the week of the fight, I requested several tests. Each test showed that the levels were going down. And the last test, or not the last test, but I took a test on weigh-in day, and it was still above the range that the athletic commission was going to let me fight.
But in close proximity,
right?
And it had been trending down significantly throughout the week.
Okay.
And obviously, I wasn't at that point. I was told that I didn't get to fight, and that you know, that I was going to be put on suspension. The day of the fight, I woke up, went and took another test. That test came back well within ranges. As I did another test yesterday with one of the doctors from the Pennsylvania Athletic Commission. I did another test with him, and it had gone down even more so. You know, I mean,
what's important to note is throughout this process, it's not like Nate did something and didn't communicate.
Right.
It's actually exactly the opposite. Throughout the process, Nate was aware of what his requirements were. He proactively communicated to the appropriate bodies what he was doing. You know, before he was asked for test data, where he was in terms of meeting the compliance with New Jersey Athletic Commission, we were providing that information to those bodies. So Nate was hiding nothing.
Mm-hmm.
This is a young man who made every effort to comply. He got caught in a difficult situation in terms of the timing and a new treatment being suggested by his healthcare provider. You know, when he found out that the tests were high after that point, we ran out of time.